Hello there, Internet world. My name is Renee Jones, and this is what I learned. Again, since it's Black History Month, I'll be speaking with you about Black history. And today's story is about the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. In the late 1920s and 1930s, the medical community did not know much about treating syphilis. It was considered a cultural embarrassment. Despite the fact that it had been around for 4 to 5 centuries, there was no credible treatment for it. The United States Public Health Service, known as PHS, was in charge of identifying, monitoring, and trying to figure out ways to treat the ailments and conditions that were impacting all U.S. citizens. There were several divisions of the PHS, and one of them was completely focused on venereal diseases. The Rosenwald Fund, an organization that promoted the healthcare and education of poor African American farmers, sponsored a study with the PHS to identify the counties with the highest rates of syphilis among African American males. They set out to identify and treat the disease. By 1931, during the Depression, the Rosenwald Fund was short on capital, so they stopped operating in that capacity. The PHS approached the Tuskegee Institute about forming a study to research the effects of untreated syphilis among African American males for 6 to 9 months, then follow up with the treatment plan. They enrolled some 399 men with syphilis and 201 who were not affected with the disease to be part of the study. All of the men were poorly educated sharecroppers. None of the men knew what the study was for. They were told if they participated, they would receive free health care, something that none of them had at the time, and they would receive treatments for bad blood. Also, for their participation, they would receive free meals, exams, and burial insurance. The infected men were not told they had the disease, and they were not treated for the disease. In the 1940s, penicillin was found to be an effective cure for the disease, but it was never administered to the participants of the Tuskegee experiment. 128 participants died from syphilis during the course of the experiment. The Tuskegee experiment lasted until 1972 when it was exposed. That means Black men who were infected with syphilis were allowed to return to their communities and infect other individuals in the community for some 40 plus years. It is documented that several of the participants' wives and children contracted the disease, but those were the ones that came forward. There were numerous amounts of individuals that did not. In November 1972, after the experiment was exposed and public outrage grew over the unethical treatment, or should I say lack of treatment, of the participants, the experiment was terminated. The following year, the NAACP filed a lawsuit on behalf of the participants, and the federal government settled for $10 million. In 1997, President Bill Clinton spoke about how shameful the experiment was on the Black community, and he personally apologized on behalf of the country. We still do not know the long-term effects the study had on the population. My question is simply this. That is the study that we knew about. How many studies have been performed that we still have never learned about? And I'm not just talking about syphilis. Well, I'm sure time will tell. This is what I learned. Again, my name is Renee Jones, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.